Okay, so y'all already know who won this election of 1824. Who won it? Adams. But who really won the popular vote? And Jackson is not going to sit back lightly and just be like, okay, I lost. It went to the Electoral College. I didn't have the popular vote. It went to the House. I lost on my own accord. Jackson is not going to sit back lightly and reason through this. We're going to see that y'all saw he's a gambler and a duelist, right? He's going to be enraged. And so this whole era, the moment that Adams takes office, it is going to be called Jacksonian democracy, because Jackson will step forward and he's going to let the people know about what shystiness went on. What was this shystiness that went on? The corrupt bargain. And he's going to make Adams look really bad, along with who else? Clay. So we're going to see, we're going to call this era the age of Jackson, even though it starts off with Adams. Right? We're going to see, because of the election, we know that there was one party, right? Because what has happened to the Federalists? They died after the Hartford Convention, right? Where they were trying to shrink the government when they used to believe in big government. So they died at the Hartford Convention. And this is what made that election difficult, is that we only had one party. And they called this era the era of good feelings, right? Was it really good feelings? No, we talked about how we see, yes, nationalistic programs such as the American system, roads and canals, the bank coming out, the tariff, but really this is leading to sectionalistic parties. Because of this election, we're going to see Jackson will branch off and create his own party. Why is he upset? Why does he have to separate himself from the Whigs of Clay and Adams? The corrupt bargain. And this is the commencement of the parties, which we'll eventually know today that Jacksonian Democrats come to be the Democrats of today, and that the Whig Party will eventually become the Republicans today. But they believe in different things. We know this group right here believes in big government. Is that what our Republicans believe today? Do the Republicans believe? I have to talk about this flip when I get to Roosevelt, okay? Because they will flip and believe in small government. But this is the origins of the Republican Party, okay? The Democrats over here believe in what? Small, but does that mean what they believe today? No. Eventually, Roosevelt, when he gets to the Great Depression, he's going to say we need a big government to solve the Depression. So our parties will flip to what we know they are today. Okay. So we talked about this election. Who got the most votes? Andrew Jackson. Quincy Adams was in second. Crawford was in third. But what happened to him? The stroke. Okay, so he can't run. And we know that this election demonstrates sectionalism, because who did the North vote for? Who did the North vote for? He was from Massachusetts. Adams. Who did the West vote for? Jackson. Way more for Jackson than for who?
Oh, wait.
Clay. Clay only got 37, right? Okay. Who did the South vote for? Crawford. And so this election demonstrates sectionalism, because every section endorsed a different candidate. So we're going to see these votes. I already put this up. We know it did not total over 131.5 to win the Electoral College. So this election really became between Adams and Jackson, because Crawford had a stroke. But this was thrown to the House by the 12th Amendment. And we're going to see who is now in charge of this. Clay. And so Clay used his position as Speaker of the House to persuade people to vote for Adams. He hated Jackson. If Jackson were to win, what would Clay never see in the future? The presidency. And you will eventually see Clay will never be on the wall. He sold his soul to the devil in this. And he will never be president. He will try to run 4 times for the presidency, and he'll never win. I'll talk about another guy who runs 4 times and never wins. Okay?
He actually sold his soul.
This case. Okay. So Adams won the election, and Clay will be named Secretary of State, and they've done this as the corrupt bargain. Each time Clay ran for the presidency, the corrupt bargain will come back to haunt him, and it was resurrected. He will never win again. So the Adams administration, this is why Adams is unpopular. First thing is he failed to build party support. So this is number 6. Why was Adams unpopular? He failed to win popular support of his party because he was what? What was that word again? Puritanical and what else? Aloof. Because of both of these things, he's going to be very unpopular. He refused to oust old officers and reward his followers with new jobs. So is his party going to like him? No. He's also unpopular because he's a minority president. Did most people vote for him in the nation? No. So those are the two things you should have for 6. Why was Adams unpopular? He's a minority president. And he's aloof. He's puritanical. And he didn't give his party people jobs. So y'all see where that is in your PowerPoint?
That's number 8 for us.
At number 8 for y'all. Sorry, mine's off. Is it 8?
Yes.
Okay, I need to go get a study guide. Mine's an old study guide, I guess. Y'all are all seeing my mistakes. Okay. Good morning. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Who? Yes, I do. Yes. I will send it right now. Brody, Miss Livingston wants to see you take the yellow pass. Okay? And you can get this from a partner. Okay? So, y'all got this for 8 now? Right. The next thing, I'm going to focus on number 9. How did the South feel about Adams' programs? What did they fear? So, Adams is going to favor nationalist programs such as roads and canals. Is the South going to like roads and canals? No. Why doesn't the South like roads and canals? They don't connect to them. So how did the South feel about Adams' programs? They disliked them because the roads and canals did not benefit them. Are they going to benefit from a national university? Do farmers need to go to university yet? No. Are they going to benefit from an astronomical observatory? No, unless they want to go take a date somewhere, right? Get romantic and cuddly. But really, they're not going to benefit from this. So how did the South feel about Adams' programs? They felt that they would not benefit from the roads, the astronomical observatory, and the university. They felt it was a waste of money. So what did they fear? The South feared, this is the second portion, the South feared that these nationalistic programs would mean more and higher tariffs. They also feared that if Adams could put this stuff over him, that he could eventually take away slavery. Well, is that a big jump? Yeah. Yes. This is anxiety that will heighten. Okay. So is everybody good with 8 now? 9. Y'all know where to find it on your notes, in your PowerPoint? The other thing is that the West does not like Adams' policies. Adams, we're going to see that he's going to restrict land speculation because we had that panic, right, of 1819. He's going to say, we cannot be buying this land up. People need to give gold for it. He's going to deal fairly with the Indians. So these Western settlers that coveted the land of the Indians, he's going to say, look, those guys have legal title to it. You cannot come onto their land. So is the West really going to like Adams? Is the South going to like Adams? So what is the only area of America that actually likes Adams? The North. Are we having sectionalism rise up? And so it is this sectionalism that is really going to foment and cause the Civil War. So the next question says, on our study guide, it says, describe Jackson's personality. We'll get to that. Okay? We're going to see Jackson and his people from the moment that Adams gets the election in the corrupt bargain is they're going to campaign for the next 4 years. They felt cheated. And we're going to see this is going to lead to the election of 1828. And we're going to see Jackson is going to have his party, the Democratic Republicans, and Adams will have the National Republicans. Okay? we're going to see that this election is going to have some mudslinging. I don't know if y'all know what mudslinging is when you bring out the dirt of other people. Okay? This is the first time in political history that they're bringing up other people's dirt. So like one of the things that Jackson gets on Adams is that he has a billiards table. Y'all know what a billiards table is, a pool table?
Yeah.
That was considered something of a man who has very leisurely ways with women at night. You don't have stuff like that. Apparently he also got a lady of the night for one of the dignitaries. And they start to throw this stuff out, okay? And then the Adams campaign finds out something about Jackson. And it dealt with his wife named Rachel. Rachel used to be married to another man. Rachel was married to another man who was very abusive. At this time, was it common for a woman to get divorced? No. She is going to file for one. They will believe her husband gets the papers. Do you think her husband signs it? No. Rachel believes the divorce is final. She falls in love with Jackson, marries him. But it turns out, what they find out is what happened to those papers. They were never filed. So Rachel is actually married to what? Two men. And this becomes the mudslinging, that she is a bigamist. She is married to two men. Her heart cannot take it and she actually dies.
Really?
And so Jackson, do you think Jackson is upset now?
Yes.
Yes, she didn't ever live to be first lady because of this mudslinging. Okay? It is very sad. And the press, like y'all have seen this, the press, they're going to rile up at this time. So we're going to see the people who vote for Jackson is the West, the laborers, and the South. I'm going to eventually get to why it's a revolution. So this is Washington's inauguration. I want you to describe this inauguration. How does it look? Patriotic, small. Who is there? The wealthy or the poor? Wealthy. It's very pomp and circumstance, right? Very formal. Do y'all see all the pomp and circumstance that they have troops there? They have the swearing in over here, right? We have a lot of stuff going on, right? Did this cost money?
Yes.
And let's look at Jackson's. Does this look the same? No, it looks a lot different. Are the people different?
Yes.
Yes. Who do y'all think is showing up?
Common folk.
The common folk, those laborers, the people from the West. Does it look like it has its own pomp and circumstance? No. And so Dolly Madison actually freaked out when she heard that Jackson was coming in. She was like, the mob is coming. She was like, go save the presidential portraits. Go put up the silverware. They cannot come in and take down the tapestries of this place. So Dolly Madison will put out the first kegger at the White House because she goes and puts kegs of beer and cider out there so the people would not come into the White House to destroy it. So this is why they're all outside. But were these guys really excited that Jackson became president? He's seen as a common man president. So what we're going to look at is what makes the election of 1828 a revolution. First, this is the first president we'll have west of the Appalachian Mountains. Do y'all see that on number 11? Okay. This is the first one that we'll have west of the Appalachian Mountains. Also, we get an expanding electorate. We're going to see more males are voting, and they're more common men. We get the conventions. Okay, so y'all know that everybody right now who's running for the presidency is trying to get their nomination of their convention, right? And so 4 years ago, many people were shocked that Hillary got the nomination from the convention, right? And there was a whole scandal behind that because apparently Bernie should have gotten that, right? But that's what the political convention, this is the first time we're going to see it. This is the first time we're going to see a political convention. And again, it removes the controls of the very, very rich controlling who gets the nomination, and it moves it to the people. Okay, so this is 11. You could just write it on your notes so you could come back later. We also see politicians had to capture the popular support by appealing to emotions, campaigning, going out there and shaking people's hands. Does Adams have any of that skill? No. And then the mudslinging comes in, and we know that mudslinging really is going to hurt Jackson. Okay, the next part of your study guide is number 12. It says politicians had to pay for favors for the common man. They had to use the spoil system. So what is the purpose of the spoil system? This is 12. It's to appoint positions not based on merit, but instead appoint based on common sense. Put your friends in. Is that good for political office, to put your friends into office? No. And we're going to see that our democracy is going to kind of go into shambles at this time because we're appointing people who have been your friend or who have supported you. Jackson will use it often. Jackson will use it often. Jackson will appoint men who have campaigned with him. So are we going to have a government that is functioning very well? No. Okay. We're going to see the importance of the spoil system is that it's going to create the two-party system. That's for the second part of 12. Importance of the spoil system, it creates the two-party system. Do you want me to go back through 12 really quick? Okay. So this one. This is what was the purpose of the spoil system? To appoint positions not based on merit, instead of paying back your friends for helping you. Jackson will use it because he will appoint his friends in office. The importance of the system, it leads to the two-party system. I'm going to give you all time to write that down. The last thing is we're going to see that our government, when Jackson gets to appoint his friends, which Jackson's usage is he's appointing his friends, the people who support him, is we're going to see our government move from the snobs to the mobocracy. People who have no previous experience in government. Okay, are y'all okay with 12 now? I know I need to go back to 10, but it will be there. Jackson's personality. First, he's a very violent man. We saw that when he went to Florida, right, and caused $5 million in damages. We're going to see he was very loyal to his wife, Rachel, but what happened to her? She died. And we're going to see that, do you think he's going to blame Adams and Clay for this? Yes. We're going to see he expected loyalty from his followers. And these are why he will appoint them and use the spoil system often. We're going to see he's the first president since Washington to be president without a college education. The only other guy not to have a college education will be Harry Truman. Usually most of our presidents will have a college education. We will see that he's a rags to riches story. And this is why the common men like him. He's a frontier aristocrat. He was orphaned. He eventually, he learns to read. We are going to see he goes to school. He passes the bar. He becomes a lawyer. When he becomes a lawyer, then he will buy a huge plantation. Okay, so y'all have that there. Jackson's presidency, we're going to see that he's very suspicious of the federal government. Again, we know he wants state power, which is going to be kind of hard for him because he has a very dominant personality that for him just to give the states power, he will find issues with. We're going to see he believes in the union and the supremacy over the nation over the states. He will ignore the Supreme Court on several times, and we'll talk about that next Tuesday when we get to the Indian cases. We're going to see he made his decision based on opinion and not law, and he will use the veto a lot. We're going to see he used the spoil system. Again, he put people in office that were his friends. He allowed people to buy their political office, which would lead to corruption in political machines. you will definitely see this image on your next test. Okay, so I want us to go over it. It will not be a document of the day, but you will see it. This is why you have it. Who is this guy? Jackson. How do they have him dressed like? A king. Do y'all see what he has in his hands? He has the veto, because he's going to veto a lot. What is this? A scepter, right? He's looking like a king. Do y'all see what's beneath his feet? Constitution has been ripped up, right? Because he is going to basically expand the power of the presidency. But did he really believe in a big government? No. So is he going to be a lot like Jefferson? Okay,